live stream.
Working the Ilmas.
Okay. So should we wait? Do something? You're the tech. Ah. Okay. Shalom Chavra. So, B'shus of Gerzi and B'shus Holy Chavra over here, which I have the opportunity to know a lot of you. So, a couple of weeks ago, do I have to hold, you guys can hear me like this? Make it closer. Just going to do that. It's like one of those clown tricks. I'm just going to speak. Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I had the schus to spend the night in Pshishka, and with a good chaver with Moshe Weinblatt, and it was late at night. It was about I think it was 2:45 in the morning, just because we got to this Achnas Asorchim in Pshishka late, and we said before we go to sleep, let's open up a Torah, let's learn the Beis Medrash over there. So we opened up, and just because it's the Indian our parsha, and we saw a Torah that was we saw a Torah over there that speaks about this amazing meeting that takes place. Yeah, it's just locked up between Yosef and his brothers, and we're told that Yosef and his brothers, when they sat together, that the Torah tells us that they drank together. So here we go. I'm gonna have to get used to this repeating voice of myself. I don't like the way I sound, but it's okay. It's all part of that Vayda. So the Torah says that the Rabbi Bikus Mir was once sitting around the table of Tzadikei Ador, and he asked the question. The Rashi says when the Torah says that they drank together, he says that from the day that the brothers sold Yosef, lo shasu yain, v'hu lo shasa yain, and Yosef didn't drink wine. So from that time that Yosef was sold, both his brothers and Yosef, they didn't drink. When the Torah tells us v'yishtu v'yishku imo, that Yosef and his brothers drank, it was the first time that they drank in a long time. So it says over here, the Torah says that the Admor Kuzmir was sitting together with Tzadikei Ador, and he asked this question. It's a great kasha. He says, Bishlama Yosef, guys, listen. I understand how Yosef was able to drink, because Yosef knew, right? Yosef knew that he was together. Yosef knew that he was together with his brothers. So therefore, they took upon themselves that they're not going to drink, right? They're not going to drink because they're not all together. Yosef knew he was together with his brothers, so it was beseder for Yosef to drink and have a l'chaim. But the Rabbi Kuzmir says, what about the brothers? The brothers didn't know that they were sitting with Yosef. They didn't know they were sitting with their brother. So how could it be that the brothers drink? You guys hear the question? So that's the question.
Have a l'chaim will make life easier.
Well, it's almost that's the answer. So he brings down the Heishiv David. I'm going to say this wrong. There you go. Shidduch said the same as Ashtava Kadisha of Rajitz that says B'derech B'dichusa, that when someone gives you a drink, he's your brother. All right. So if someone offers you a drink, he's your brother. So l'chaim Chavra. L'chaim. There you go. This is a beautiful Torah. L'chaim. There you go. Some people love that Torah. The Torah can be dangerous also for some people. It's a good Torah. It's a good Torah for Chanukah, for being able to drink the Kedusha. L'chaim.
That's why I'm not allowed to drink with the joy. I drink wine.
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to try not to be marich. Thank you very much, Rabbi Gerzi, for asking me to speak. I don't think that I should be speaking here, but just a few words. So sometimes when you learn Sifrei Avoda, Avodas Hashem, you kind of get this little bit of this feeling that every Yom Tov is a V'la Yom Tov. It's Chanukah is a V'la Yom Tov. Sukkot is Mamish, Gewaltig, Rosh Hashanah, Pesach, Lag BaOmer is the Yom Tov. That's the Yom Tov. You kind of think what is this? Every single Yom?
Really is the.
So for Chaver that were together, we were together, a lot of the Chaver on Sukkot spoke about the fact that the Chag of Sukkot, there's a Chag, if there's the Yom Tiv, which is very much connected to the Chabura of Pilzno, the Chabura of work-inspired, it's Sukkot. We spoke about the idea, shared some ideas of why Sukkot, the Yom Tiv of Sukkot, is very much deeply connected, right, to the Chabura of work-inspired. Baruch Hashem, the Chaver over here are in the Chabura, been in the Chabura, right, a Chabura that focuses on the connection between Avodas Hashem and Gashmias and financial health and money and work, and we spoke about it. So tonight I'm going to say that really Chanukah is the Yom Tov of work inspired. Chanukah is the Yom Tov of work inspired. The truth is I'm not going to say it about Pesach or Purim. Really, it's Sukkot and Chanukah are very deeply connected to a lot of the Torahs that we've had the opportunity here in this base medrash as a Chabura. A lot of people here have joined virtually. There's Ethan left, okay, he's joining from America. There are people that have joined. It's very, very deeply connected. So I just want to share a couple of ideas. You know, there's a Torah we shared a couple of years ago on Chanukah that the Sifsei Tzaddik, the grandson of the Chedush Arim, says that the Chedush Arim said Amar Lanu. When he says Amar Lanu, he said to the Sifsei Tzaddik, his grandson, I'm not sure if he means also with this, like just to him in the Sfas Emes, was his cousin, or he said to the Chevra, but the Sifsei Tzaddik said, the reason why we call it Chanukah Geld, our children are very into the Chanukah Geld. They turn into presents, they turn into chocolate money, like whatever you do. That it's called Chanukah Geld is because the Pasuk tells us in Mishlei, B'smola Osher v'chavod. On the left side, right, is Osher v'chavod, wealth and kavod. So the Chedush Arim said, "V'mitzvah zu nasis b'smo," maybe ashiris. That this mitzvah of Chanukah, right, which is done on the left, is a mitzvah which can bring people wealth. What the real Chanukah gelt is the shiras that a person could be zeicha through Chanukah. And he explains over there. We explained it once before. I think it was posted as a mini-series that's going out about it. But the idea is, it's not that we're supposed to be davening for gelt on Chanukah. He says that if that's what you're doing on Chanukah, you're not going to get the gelt. But the idea is that on Chanukah there's a tremendous joy, there's a tremendous potential for us to be able to clear away those blockages within ourselves that is blocking us from receiving the shiras that HaKadosh Baruch Hu always wants to give us. Right? Those misaligned beliefs about money, our misaligned beliefs about Gashmias, our unhealthy relationship, right, with wealth, with our perspective of how we view ourselves and our relationship with our money. That Chanukah, right, the Chanukah has the ability for us to be able to, through the mitzvah of Chanukah, living through Chanukah, to clear that away and to open ourselves up, right, to Ashiris. So that's in the element of finances. In the Chabura, previously to what we're doing right now, we spoke about work. The beautiful Sfas Emes I just saw a couple of days ago. The Sfas Emes says, a song that we sing all over and over again in Chanukah, by Fartzu Chomos B'Gdalai, right, that the Yevonim, that they were poets, they break a hole through our Chomos, through the walls of Yerushalayim. So it says the Sfas Emes that one explanation of why is it that the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah, right, that we do outside, right, towards Rosh Hashanah, is because the Yevonim wanted to be able to break into our inner walls. They wanted to be able to break a wall into our pnimius, right, into our internal chambers. Hashem helped us, right, that we were menatzeach otam, that we were able to defeat them, and as a result, how we respond to Chanukah, right, is that we go out on Chanukah and we take the or pnimi, we take the or of the Beis Hamikdash, and we shine it out to Rosh Hashanah. Right, and he explains over there that Chanukah is the time, right, it's something that we can deeply connect to, right, and Chanukah is an amazing opportunity, right, to be able to reflect about what our life is outside of the walls of our own Beis Hamikdash, the Beis Medrash, the time that we're spent learning, the times that we're spent davening, all the times that we view as being outside. Chanukah is an amazing opportunity, right, to be able to connect, right, to our ability to be able to go out, right, Dida Natzach, to be able to conquer the world of Gashmias and make everything part of Avodas Hashem. So there you go, Chanukah, work-inspired finances, Chanukah, work-inspired work, and then Baruch Hashem, you've had the schus over the last 4 months, right? A number of the Chaver here, right? To be able to spend time, hopefully humbly, trying to understand the sugya of bitachon. Right? The sugya of bitachon in Ishtadlus is something which everyone wants to have bitachon. And many of us may think we have bitachon. We won't think you have bitachon. You guys are bali bitachon. We all want it, right? The question is that what does it really mean? Be'emes. What does it really mean to have bitachon? Right, in Baruch Hashem, we've had the opportunity with Chevra over the last 4 months to look into the sugya and to be able to try to understand how HaKadosh Baruch Hu envisioned us living in a way not just that we consciously know all the principles of bitachon, but as Rav Gerzi explained, it mamish blew my mind. Right, the whole entire perspective of Pilzno is everything is about the human experience, and especially bitachon is about how much are we experiencing, right, the menuchas nefesh, right, inside of our guf. How much are we experiencing that inside of our nefesh? How much are we experiencing that in our physical sensations? Right, to experience bitachon means to be able to not say, I have bitachon, right, but my heart is racing. Or I have bitachon, but I'm sweating. But really, really having bitachon means be'emes. Be'emes, that you've integrated these mindsets of bitachon so deeply into your mahus, all the way down to your toes. Mamish, you can check a person and be like, wow, this person's holding a bitachon. And one of the things that we're in the process of figuring out, and I think it's an amazing schus to be part of this chabura of Mamish Oivnei Hashem, everyone's showing up and people are sincere and they're willing to be vulnerable and they're willing to say, listen, I want to have bitachon in my life. What's blocking me from having bitachon in my life? So one of the things that I find for myself, I think some other people may experience it, is that really what's blocking bitachon is cookies. Okay? I didn't say latkes. If it'd be latkes, that would be bad because it's Chanukah. Or jelly donuts, but no, not jelly donuts, but cookies. What do I mean? So one of the struggles that we have, right, is that when we're trying to work on bitachon, right, we can go to an amazing shir and we can read an amazing sefer and we can have like all the ideas and it all makes sense in our head. The question is that are we able to onboard our nefesh? Are we able to onboard our guf into having bitachon? So it could be, I want to have bitachon. Be'emes HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to have bitachon. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to tell you that be'emes, I know that you're in charge. And I know that everything's going to be okay. But sometimes our nefesh is not on board. This happens to me all the time. Recently I was flying. I went to Pshishcha. So I have this juke in my system that it comes from wherever it comes from. They're like, before I fly, just my whole system just goes into this fight or flight, panic warrior kind of. It's my flight, I'm going to forget my passport, and especially I was going without my wife. She normally takes care of everything. So it was just I'm going to, something's going to happen. So I was preparing for this flight, and I was going, and it was an interesting thing. I was here I am, I'm working on my bitachon, but I'm not in a place of bitachon. My body was already running. What do I mean by cookies? And if you've ever been on the internet, the first time you ever wondered, why is it, the advertisement keeps on coming over and over and over to me? Maybe it's a sign from Shemayim. Maybe, but it's probably just cookies. Okay? The cookies, right? The internet, right? That they're able to set up, right? That based off of past behavior, it's already projecting for you. It's already sending you on a pathway of where you're going to end up. Right, so you're going to have your curated content. Right, it's great for sometimes. You get all the shiurim you want, you get all the songs that you want, because they set you up. So cookies are great, but they can also be challenging. Because, as Rav Gerzi has explained in many contexts, right, that, quote Rav Gerzi, our nefesh is dumb. But what that means is that our internal system, right, of our physical sensations and our emotions and our thinking can get set. Can set like an application. It just gets set off. And therefore, right, if it got set in a certain way of thinking at a certain point of our life because of a certain experience that we had, or a certain set of experiences that we had, or because of certain beliefs that we had, that's just what gets set. And that will just play over and over and over and over and over and over again. Ad me'eh ve'esrim, be'emes. Unless a person's a bal avoda, unless a person understands the way that we're meant to function, and we have the ability to be able to change that. But the greatest challenge I find for myself with bitachon is that in order to be able to really manifest and experience bitachon, it needs to be something which is embodied inside of our guf. The challenge is that sometimes our guf, and sometimes our nefesh, and sometimes our thinking, and sometimes our emotions about something is already set, and it's already getting triggered by something. So I see a kid, not my kid, of course, someone else's kid. But I see a kid, or I see a person, right, or I see something, and suddenly, so quickly, we go into a certain type of thinking, a certain type of emotion, a certain type of anxiety, a certain type of worry. We don't feel safe. And that could happen even without us choosing for that to happen. So how do we get out of it? So here's where Chanukah offers us a tremendous opportunity. Because the Sfarim explain, right, the Chanukah mitzvah Chanukah, which is, we light the candles, and there's the Indian of looking at the candles, that there's an Indian of a school of the Chanukah candles to be able to be mataken ariyah. What does it mean to be mataken ariyah? It's different understandings of what does that mean. A person saw certain things they shouldn't have seen, so they could look at the Chanukah candles to be mataken ariyah. But one understanding of this, right, we know, Chazal tell us, right, the ayin roeh v'alev chomi, right, that the eye sees, right, and then the heart desires. Right, then we know from our own experience, right? We quote Chazal, but forget about Chazal. We all know from our own experience, right? Ein do mashmi'a l're'iyah. Right, you can hear something, but when you see something, that impacts you. Right, you know, if you're standing on the top of a cliff, and someone tells you you're on the top of a cliff, okay, open your eyes. Oh, it's like, bam! Like the impact on our nefesh, the impact on our whole entire system from seeing something so strong. Right, the neural pathways from seeing, right, to our thinking, to our emotions, to their physiology that takes place. So Chanukah has this tremendous ability of tikkun re'iyah. I think that it's an amazing time. It's an amazing time for us, right, as we spend time with the candles. First of all, through tefillah, just to ask the Kadosh Baruch Hu that through looking at the Chanukah candles, that are mi'ala teva, right, that we should have the ability to be able to break free, right, from anything in our life, right, that each one of us knows for ourselves, that, you know, when we see it, it just puts us in the red zone. When we see it, it just puts us into feeling unsafe and uncertain. It makes us feel scared. It makes us feel worried. And it's like we want to feel bitachon, and like we say it to Tehillim, but then, like, you know, you look at that bill, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what happened to all my bitachon? Right, because we saw something, or we saw someone that just suddenly triggered us. And we have the ability to be able to reprogram them. So that's one thing to daven for over Chanukah. And I think that another avodah, which I think is very much connected to, we spoke a little bit, and I'll end with this, that we can do over Chanukah. We know that Chanukah, we have the mitzvah of Chanukah candles, we have to light the candles, to look at the candles, and we have the mitzvah of the Hodus of the Halal. And one of the ideas that we've spoken about in the Chabur over the last couple of weeks, right, is that when we're trying to build a sense of safety and security with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we mamish feel safe and secure with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We feel safe, we trust in Him. Be'emes, right? Be'emes, and we can see it in our physiology. So one of the principles, the mindsets the Chovos HaLevavos brings, how to be able to build this, right? Is that when it's very, very clear to us that Kadosh Baruch Hu has a track record of helping us. Right? If you want to feel safe, you know, if you have two friends that need to help you out, one guy's never helped you before, one person's helped you 100 times, you're going to feel more naturally safe and reliable than the person who has helped you 100 times. So the more that we recognize and the more that it's clear to us how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has helped us, how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has come through for us, so then that helps to build our bitachon. And this is where Akar Sato comes in, right? Because we spoke about in the Chabur, that the connection I won't go into right now, you know, Hod and Netzach and Yesod, right? Is that the more that we practice Akar Sato, the more that we recognize how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has helped us, and the more that we express that through Dibur, right, which impacts our nefesh, we become people that recognize how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has helped us. I know for myself, this is something I greatly struggle with. So I can go through a day, right, and the way my eyes look, right, is sometimes my eyes might look like, okay, when's the last time HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped me? Okay, so I'll think about something that happened last week, right, and think about all the things that didn't work out. But the more that we practice Akar Sartov, as Rav Kurzi said, we practice this midah of Hod through Chanukah, the Hodus of the Halal, and to be Makir Tov, and to sit by the candles and recognize how many times HaKadosh Baruch Hu has helped us. How many times HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the fact that I'm breathing, the fact that I'm able to, the fact that I'm standing, the fact that I'm walking, the fact that I'm alive, right? All of these things that it's so easy to take for granted. Through this practice of the Hodus of the Halal, the Akar Sartov, we're able to build that bitachon. We're able to grow that bitachon inside of us. So I give a bracha to all of us, myself, the chaver that are here, that we should We should take advantage of this amazing Yom Tov that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us. May the Hodus with the Halal to be able to mamish with Hashem should bless each one of us. We should be able to reorient our vision. Right? If we're used to looking at a situation and seeing it's like, oh, that's not going to work out, we should look at a situation and be like, that's going to work out. How amazing would that be? Just think about anything in your life. When you look at it, you're like, no, it's not going to happen. You're like, yeah, it's going to happen. Right? It comes down to the Ra'iyah. It comes down to our bitachon and Kadosh Baruch Hu. It comes to how much we feel like Kadosh Baruch Hu has been there for us. B'ez Hashem, we should all be able to feel it.
Maybe just take a moment and just stop for a minute. Place your attention on your breath. And what did you hear just now? What did you hear just now? What did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you reshus to pick up on? What do you absorb right now in the present moment with what you just went through? And as we said before, everybody's trying to figure it out. As we said before, you could be looking at each other, but what's going on inside our minds? Just let ourselves experience some safety, to quiet the internal world, to be here, mamash, to accept people as they are, just in this space for 10 minutes. Look at somebody. Divine intelligence wants us to live well, live good. Baruch Hashem, the wonderful words of Reb Tzvi. Thank you, Shkoyach. Baruch Hashem. Oh, ya,